everybody, this is Chuck, back again for another video extravaganza that hopefully the whole world will enjoy. The name of this video is The Matrix and the Bible. I just came out with a video not too long ago called Star Wars in the Bible that talked about the Star Wars story and kind of compared it to the Bible and talked about how a lot of major films that have influenced our cultures are nothing more than thinly veiled references to the Bible or metaphors for the Bible. And the Matrix is no different. First and foremost, the Matrix, the word the Matrix, is actually in the Bible, in the book of Exodus and the book of Numbers. So right there, the word matrix, is kind of an odd word, but it is in the Bible. So the word matrix is in the Bible. It's all right there. Secondly, Neo, of course, is the main character, basically, or one of the main characters, I guess, probably the main character in most people's eyes, of this whole story of the Matrix. And then, why do they choose the word Neo? Why do they choose that name, Neo? Well, first and foremost, it's an anagram. Of course, you switch the letters around, and you can form other words, like one. Of course, this all, comes down to the Bible as well, and how Jesus is supposed to be the chosen one, and all this. So, Neo, one. And then, on top of that, Neo is a preference that means new. And of course, well, how does that relate to the Bible? Well, of course, I espouse that the new earth to be ruled by the New Jerusalem is indeed the New World Order. So there's where the Neo comes in as well. Not only is it an anagram for one, but it's also Neo, new. So they're using these words for a reason. Secondly, just look at the word Trinity, the character Trinity. This is an obvious reference to the Bible and the Trinity taught by the Bible, which of course is a word not even found in the Bible. I already made a video called The Trinity Challenge in which I proved that the word Trinity is in the Bible. But nonetheless, that's why a Trinity is named Trinity. It's another obvious biblical reference that they're just clubbing you over the head with to try to get you to associate this with the Bible and with religion. All right? So right off the bat, that should tell you, one and Trinity, three and one, this is all, very obvious stuff. Another part, different parts of the movie, like at the very beginning, the apartment number that Neo is in at the very beginning is apartment 101. Then, like partway through the movie, they go to another apartment and it's 202. And then right at the end, before he becomes the one and gets shot, it's room 303. Well, this is an obvious reference to the 11-22-33 occult numerology that is used by Freemasons. So that's why it's the 101, 202, 303. They're showing like the different steps, the 33 steps to where you become a 33rd degree Freemason. It's kind of the same thing. That's what they're doing. That's why they, start out early. It's 101, then 202, 303, 11, 22, 33. And of course, I said in my last video as well that, how does that relate to the Bible? Well, a lot of stuff, but obviously Jesus was crucified when he was 33, so that's not a coincidence. All these numbers are used for a reason, all right? Another thing that's a pretty obvious biblical reference is Cipher, and the fact that he's kind of the Judas, the sellout, that pretty much betrays everybody that's in the Matrix. So, of course, what is that a reference to? Lucifer, Lucifer. Kind of like Louis Cyphre in the movie Angel Heart. It's an obvious reference to Lucifer, and which is why he's the one who sells them all out in the end. So, another very important thing about the Matrix story is the fact that their ship is called the Nebuchaneezer. Well, why is it named the Nebuchaneezer? Well, talk about my videos, think about my videos and what I talk about in my videos and how Isaiah 14:12 lists Lucifer as the morning star, then Jesus calls himself the morning star. Well, what is, Isaiah 14:12? It's a taunt against the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. So again, this is why the ship is called the Nebuchaneezer. They're obvious biblical references that are trying to point you to specific parts of the Bible, and in that case, they're trying to point you right into the direction of reading Isaiah 14:12, which is why they talk about Nebuchadnezzar. That's what Isaiah 14:12 is. It's a taunt against the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. So again, this goes back to my teachings, and that Jesus is Lucifer, the morning star. It's all right there. So that's why it's talking about Nebuchadnezzar. It goes back to Isaiah chapter 14 being a taunt against Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. So another thing, when Neo is visiting the oracle, he has a sign right above his head that says, "Know thyself." Again, this is a Freemason motto. This is one of the main mottos in Freemasonry, know thyself. So again, this is another thing that has to do with the Freemason, and the way that they use these little signs everywhere. Well, that's another thing. They have the actual sign right above his head. Talk about seeing the signs. I mean, that's literally a sign. So, and another thing I'll talk about real quick is, of course, the city that they're all going to retire to, ideally, is Sion. Well, that's an obvious reference to Zion, the dream city of the Christians and their little wet dreams in Lucifer land. So, again, this is another really obvious reference, Sion, Zion. Again, there's a lot more stuff to be talked about. I only cover some really obvious stuff to try to get you guys to see that, all of these stories that we talk about in our culture, that are popular, are pretty much metaphors for the Bible. Even just think about, 1984, George Orwell's 1984. What was it? That everything about, the people that were trying to shut people up was the ministry of truth. The ministry, they're using these words, ministry. Again, they're trying to get you to associate it with religion. That's what 1984 is all about. What do you think the boot that's stomping on the face? Going, what is 2 plus 2? 4, wrong! And keep stomping on the face. It's obvious reference to the Bible. 3 are 1, the Trinity. 3 is 1, 7 is 6. So that's what it is, Christianity is literally the boot stomping on the face of the human race, if you allow it to. That's why I make my videos, to try to give you guys the option of fighting back. But that's where the Matrix and the Bible are connected. It's all right there in front of your eyes. Just open up that Bible. Adios, muchachos.